Good morning, everyone. We're going to do this very beautiful marsh. This is a sunset over an Eagle Hill in Ipswich. Very beautiful. Every night, amazing sunsets. All right, the most important part of this painting is that sunset, is that yellow, white-yellow spot there that lights the whole scene. Begin to paint around, just paint that strip of yellow. And I'm adding some rose and some yellow into the rose, and then some blue on the top to cool it down, and just blend that in and let that all run together. Then we're going to do a mirror of that in the marsh. Okay, so there's no mixing here. These are right out of the tube, rose, yellow, and blue. You can make up, take some initiative here and just think about what, sunsets, and study out the photo if you want. But beautiful color, but don't lose that yellow. That yellow, we'll tap out some white there. And then all these colors, you want to put them in, enjoy them, let them run, really enjoy them and let them flow. Then go back in with a towel and just tap it out, All right, this is ultramarine, and I'm putting in those clouds on the top. You can see that static sort of brush stroke that I'm using just to get a little movement up there. And I'm going to let that come all the way down to the yellow. Very light there. You can see I added some water to that color and wash it down, left some little lights coming through the clouds, added some color, just, use your own initiative here. And what we're trying to do is surround that light with some clouds and some darkness. And this all dries a lot lighter, so you know that. And then we're going to do the same thing down below, darker and warmer in the front, right? Always. That brings it towards you. Just adding the same colors, a little bit of ultramarine there. But this is all, look at the photo. Now, what I'm doing here is just touching it with a towel and blending it in, softening the edges of those clouds so that we let that yellow come through. And at the same time, I'm touching the yellow so it's getting lighter, and some of that white is coming through. Okay? Softening the clouds up there, just give them a rub. All right, so that's the base, that's the sky, and just lifting out some, little lights where clouds are reflecting down into the water. And most of this is going to be covered, so just enjoy it. Just think, you're painting that sky and it's reflecting into this marsh that's flooded. It's at night, it's flooded. All right, so this is basically a black. So it's ultramarine, quinsienna, and then we're charging it with rose. So we're adding a lot of rose to it. So we don't want it to be black. We want it to be a nice warm black. And right under the sun, I'm adding a lot of rose here and some water, loosening it up. We want that to be transparent, just right there where the sun is coming through. Okay, so you're adding a lot of rose and a lot more water to it on that section. And you'll see I'll go back to this now and loosen it up a little bit. So you want that sun to come through. You want that transparency there. All right, and now we're just gonna, I'll speed through this. We just want to add the grasses that are poking out of the water here. And that's it. We're just gonna, study out the photo, look at the shapes of the grass, but you can make up your own. Use your own initiative here and look at it, and so you can develop the composition that you like. just the way, it doesn't have to be the same as the photo. So you can study the photo for shapes, but you can put in your own composition. You can move these marshes around, All right, so you can see I'm putting in the grass, but the interesting thing here is, and you don't often see this, the grass is growing up, obviously, but it's also reflecting down. So you have both the grass and the reflection of the grass in this water. All right, so just place these things, these marsh spots, wherever you like. Develop your own composition. Look at the photo. If that works for you, that's fine. Get it in there and get those grasses done. All right. Now you can see that the water here is much too light. It's reflecting the sky and it's okay. But what we want to do is draw attention to that light, the sunset here. So I mixed up the same colors, ultramarine, quinacridone rose, and ultramarine blue and rose. And if you want a touch of raw sienna, to gray it down a little bit, depending on your own taste and how dark you want to make this. But you can see right away how that made it made the light pop. And I did a little more in the sky, much lighter, obviously, but still darker. So you want that sun to shine. Okay. All right, there's the finished painting, and I hope you like it. I hope you like that lesson. It was really easy, but gave me a chance to do some nice washes and have that light come through perfectly. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, and I will see you again very soon.